I think doesn't it with Jonathan Haidt. Yeah, so I definitely agree. I think I've talked about this. We talked a little bit about it with Jonathan Haidt. There's some great studies that have shown in the past that the change in income is a better predictor of happiness than absolute income. Eventually, everything normalizes. So I think UBI makes no sense for three reasons. The first is this normalization of spending levels. So once you've kind of had this increase, you have a moment of happiness. Normalization, change in income is a better predictor. About it with Jonathan Haidt. There's some great studies that have shown in the past that the change in income is a better predictor of happiness than absolute income. Eventually, everything normalizes. So I think UBI makes no sense for three reasons. The first is this normalization of spending levels. So once you've kind of had this increase, you have a moment of happiness, and then you actually start spending differently or spending more. And effectively, every human has one innate trait: desire. And desire is what drives humanity. It's what drives progress. It's what pushes us forward, because no matter what our absolute condition, it's our relative condition that matters, relative to others or relative to ourselves in the past or prospectively in the future. And so we always want to improve our condition. So a UBI based system basically gives a flat income. So the only way for it to really work is if you increase the income automatically by, say, 10% a year. So in a UBI world, no amount of money will actually make someone satisfied or meet their minimum thresholds, because those minimum thresholds will simply shift. And, the second issue is.
Okay, I would like to give my own opinion regarding this matter. So I just want to have my own take based on what he's saying. So UBI is universal basic income, and what he's saying, basically he's connecting money with happiness. I think that's the wrong relationship, because if you think if you get money and then you'll be able to be happy, I guess I think you'll be very disappointed, because happiness should not be based on getting money, right? Because then when you don't have money, you're not happy. So it has a relationship with, your happiness is based on what you can have and what you cannot have. Because remember, happiness is more about spiritual, being content, but basically having content from a spiritual standpoint. If you are content from within, and your happiness is not depend on external factors, right? Then you'll be happy regardless whether you have it small or you don't have it. And the reason universal basic income is important is a lot of people, their jobs, the bills that they have are making them, actually they make them unhappy, right? So you have to pay bills. Give me one second. So the reason we talk about universal basic income is it is important, because a lot of times bills are making people unhappy, and I don't think people realize that. At the end of the month, you have to pay your rent, you have to pay your electric bills. So all combinations of those bills drive people crazy. Okay, and they cannot take a day off. They cannot take vacation. Some of them, they are unable to visit their children, because I have seen, I came from that. I'm coming from that level where people struggle to survive, right? And this is what really driving craziness, and that's why universal basic income should be there in order to compensate people for their bills, right? So if there is universal basic income there, you don't have to worry about the bills. It takes care of those bills, right? Then, whether you're happy or not, but you can do other stuff. right? You don't have to thinking about, oh, I have to pay this bill, I have to pay this. So it takes away this constant stress, this constant frustration, okay, of paying, making the ends meet. Unfortunately, we are living in a situation where a lot of people, they are living paycheck to paycheck. That's the reality of today. And unfortunately, that's not a recipe for happiness. That's a recipe for disease. That's a recipe for stress. Okay, that's a recipe for breakups, divorces, right? So uh, we have to come up with a system where you know, we can pay people so that they can pay their bills, and then everything they do extra, that's they can do it extra on their own, right? And especially, and the other point is the AI is coming, and a lot of people will be taken by surprise. Yeah, so keep in mind. And then, if the robots will be working for humans, we have to humans have to get paid. If they have to still pay the bills, they have to get paid somewhere. Okay, if everything is taken by AI, right? Then humans, they won't be able to generate any money. Okay, and that's going to be a problem for paying the bills. So there must be a system where the bills are taken care of, right? And humans, they can do whatever they want. That's my few takes.
Drunk, they're puking all over the place. Sometimes people, as a housekeeper, and then as a nurse's aide wasn't enough. And my dad didn't have a job. So I went and I started working at Burger King. And to Sax's point, it's pretty eye-opening when you're 14 years old and you're working the night shift and people come in after going to the bars, they're drunk, they're puking all over the place. Sometimes you see people that go to your own high school and it's a little bit embarrassing because you're working while they're going out. But at the end of the day, it was very motivating. And I think Sachs is right. If you take that away from people, I think that you end up with a worse society. I don't think.
Okay, I think you get it wrong, completely wrong, Shama, on this one. I don't think people, they want to work at McDonald's or Burger Kings. To me, that's the reality. Is people, they don't want those kind of jobs because it's not motivating at all. I did those jobs, and it was horrible. I wasn't able to get along with people, and unfortunately, I have to move from one job to other. And the idea that people needs those jobs is it's completely, it's baseless. Okay, people, they don't want to work there, and a lot of people, they have to work there because they have to pay bills. So a lot of people, they are not. The problem is people work today because they have to pay bills. If they are given the choice of not paying bills, they will not work. It's as simple as that. Okay, unless a person is doing something that they're passionate about, all right, then they don't care about whether it has an income or not. But the reality today is people are forced to work because at the end of each month, they have a list of bills to pay. And that's the truth, behind a lot of jobs. And you know and unfortunately, we are kind of it's kind of we are being bullied by bills, right? So the bills tell you, okay, if you don't pay bills, you have to go outside. Maybe you live outside, you'll be homeless, right? So we are pressured by those by those restrictions. If you don't pay bills, you don't have water, you don't have food, you don't have I don't know, you don't have a place to stay, and therefore you have to work in order to provide those. So we have created a system where humans are really trapped. Humans are the only creatures in the entire universe. They have to work in order for their livings, and this is amazing. And this is by design. the people created money so that people work for money. You understand? So the whole system is rigged. At this point, there is no escape. Okay, and it seems to me we are working for money, and the people who created money, they make we're basically, I don't want to use the term, but we are kind of slaves, to be honest. The system that we have, we are kind of slaves. We are just working for money, and people are forced to work. People are working in conditions that you won't even believe it. Uh, they have disease. They are tired. Okay, they cannot afford their bills. And the conditions are very horrible conditions. And the truth is, people, they don't want those kind of jobs, right? That's why a lot of people, they like to be in a fancy office, right? It's much, you have AC, and you sit down on a chair. You're not doing a lot. That's the reality. A lot of people are getting paid, and the people on the bottom are really suffering, right? So under this economic system that we have, there won't be any happiness. Okay, there won't be any happiness, and the solution is you have to remove the money out of the system. If you don't remove the money out of the system, basically what you're doing is you're trying to solve a problem by I don't know, you're just trying to put a band-aid on the symptoms instead of getting back to the instead of getting back to the root cause. Okay, so there's no dignity in working for McDonald's. Let's face it, that's not sugarcoat things. There's no dignity for working for a Burger King. Okay, you have to work because you have to pay bills. End of the story. Okay, so unless we have to create jobs that have dignity, people go there, right, and have fun. Like an example of Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast it seems like he's having fun and he enjoys what he does, right? So we have to create those kind of jobs so that people they have more, social interaction. They have more time for their families. They have more time for for travel. I see people just punch in and punch out, taking the bus. This is a rat race. This is not sustainable. And at the end of the day, they are one bill away from getting kicked out, on the street. So the whole system is completely needs to be changed if you really want to find solutions. So these are my few takes. If you have a different one, you can put it down.
End of the day, it was very motivating, and it's all over the place. People come in after going to the bars, they're drunk, they're puking all over the place. Sometimes you see people that go to your own high school, and it's a little bit embarrassing because you're working while they're going out. But at the end of the day, it was very motivating, and I think
motivating working for McDonald's. Come on, that's the opposite. All right. I don't think people are motivated for working for McDonald's or Burger Kings. I don't think so. Okay. When I was working for restaurants, these kind of jobs, I was not motivated. I hated it. It wasn't. It was complete. It was a soul crushing, actually.
after going to the bars, they're drunk, they're puking all over the place. Sometimes you see people that go to your own high school, and it's a little bit embarrassing because you're working while they're going out. But at the end of the day, it was very motivating. And I think Sachs is right. If you take that away from people, I think that you end up with a worse society. I don't think that you have.
Hold on. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Taking away from people working for shitty jobs. That's creating a worse society. It's actually the worst. I mean, it's actually the opposite. This kind of jobs create worse societies, create anxiety, create unhappiness, create frustrations. Okay, this kind of job should not exist. Taking away from these people, they don't want to work. I mean, what is this, Shama? You're completely off on this one. All right, you're completely off. People, they don't want to work at McDonald's or Burger Kings. You know, I don't know for how long you work there, but these jobs take your souls. Okay. There is a reason people they don't want to work for those jobs. Okay, nobody wants those jobs. The people who work there, they have to work because they don't have choice. They are not given choice. You understand?
At the end of the day, it was very motivating. And I think Sachs is right. If you take that away from people, I think that you end up with a worse society. I don't think that you have a motivated group of people that want to go and better themselves. I think they just become really lazy.
I think it's well stated.
Yeah, people become lazy because of those jobs, because these are not motivating jobs. All right. If somebody's doing what they love, they will be motivated. But if they hate, they will be lazy. It's as simple as that. All right. If someone is, let's suppose, working for, I don't know. Let's suppose somebody's working for Barcelona team, right? They love soccer. They love, they love football. They will be motivated to do so. Okay. They won't be lazy because they love it. But unfortunately, the jobs that we have today are a recipe for a disaster. People, they get lazy because they don't want to work. They don't want to do those kind of jobs because the jobs themselves are not motivating. You understand? It's not like people, they don't want to do it, but the problem is the jobs are not motivating. And the reason people, they sign up for those jobs to begin with is because they have to pay their bills. You understand? So they are forced to work for those jobs. So they have no choice. They have no choices, right? But they don't like those jobs. And this is the reality. And unfortunately, you hear Trump saying black jobs. And the black jobs are not good jobs, to be honest. Let's face it. They are not jobs that are motivating people. They are not jobs that are uplifting. And they are not jobs that will create generational wealth. All right. I have seen it. I have seen them. The people, in the minorities, they do jobs that are not uplifting. Let's face it. These are, the black jobs that he's talking about. A lot of service jobs are done by minorities. And I have seen it from close. These jobs are not uplifting. That's the reason why, Shama's family, they couldn't afford to pay the bills because they were working those kind of jobs. They have to take welfare, right? So people are not motivated by those jobs. That's why they get lazy. It's not that they're inherently lazy. No, they are inherently not lazy. Okay. Okay. Suppose somebody who loves basketball, and you give him a job in the field of basketball. Let's say he hang out with LeBron James, or he coach, he attend the training, because he will be motivated to do so because he loves that, right? Regardless of the pay. So the jobs themselves are not motivating jobs. They cause people to be lazy. They cause people to be depressed. And on the top of that, those jobs, they do not allow them to make a good living. That's why they have to pay, they have to work from paycheck to paycheck.